This is a story about how discovering your own strengths and practicing with dedication can lead you to success. It reminds us that everyone has unique talents, and with the right mindset, we can excel at anything we truly commit to. In a small, peaceful town, there lived a family tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. In that family was a 12-year-old boy named David, a 6th grade student full of energy. David loved being outdoors, and his favorite activity was playing football. Almost every day, David would head to the nearby public field to sharpen his football skills. One afternoon, after returning from school, David dropped his bag and sat on the couch, deep in thought. He opened one of his school books, stared at the pages for a while, then leaned back into the cushions with his frustrated look. His father, who had just stepped in from the backyard, noticed David's unusual mood and walked over. Sitting beside him, he gently asked, "What's bothering you, son?" David explained that he had received a poor grade in math. But what really upset him was that his friend and neighbor, Matt, always did well in that subject. "No matter how hard I try, I just can't score as high as him," David said. Hearing this, David's father got a glass of water to calm his son. Once David had relaxed, his father took him outside to their small backyard garden, filled with shady trees and a peaceful atmosphere. "David," his father began, "I want you to understand 3 important lessons from what happened today. These lessons will guide you as you grow older." David, who deeply respected his father, was a little confused, but curious. "Can you explain those lessons, Dad?" he asked. "You'll learn each lesson one by one through a challenge I'll give you," his father replied with a gentle smile. After a brief pause, he continued, "For the first lesson, I want you to invite Matt to play football with you tomorrow." David nodded, eager to find out what lesson his father had in mind. The next morning, the weather was bright and welcoming. David went to school with his usual excitement. That afternoon, after school, he invited Matt to join him for a football game at their nearby field. As usual, David, who played football almost every day, dominated that match. He scored 3 goals, leading his team to a big victory. Meanwhile, Matt, who wasn't very familiar with football, struggled. He often lost the ball and made several mistakes. Still, everyone who played had a great time. Afterward, David cleaned up and hurried to meet his father in the backyard. "Dad, today I played football with Matt. What's the first lesson you wanted to teach me?" His father smiled knowingly. "Tell me how the game went." David described everything, his 3 goals, and how Matt wasn't very good at football. His father nodded and said, "Look at this, David. Matt may not be very good at football, but he's great at math. Just like how you might struggle with math, but excel at football. We are all different, and that's okay. We each have our own strengths and passions." David felt a wave of understanding wash over him. He realized that people are different, and that's what makes everyone unique. Curious as always, he immediately asked about the second lesson. "For the second lesson," his father said, "I want you to pay close attention to Matt tomorrow at school. Keep track of how often you see him counting or working with numbers." The following day, David eagerly went to school, excited to complete his father's challenge. Throughout the day, he quietly observed Matt, noticing how often he was engaged in math-related tasks. After school, David passed the time playing football again until his father returned home. That evening, David approached him and shared what he had observed. "Dad, Matt was counting a lot today. He was working on maths problems, solving puzzles, even calculating things like counting petals on a flower." His father smiled warmly and said, "That's the second lesson, David. Matt is good at math because he enjoys it and practices it often. If you want to get better at something, you have to keep practicing, just like you do with football. It doesn't always have to be difficult. You can start with simple things like counting petals on a flower." David smiled, realizing he could improve in anything as long as he practiced consistently, just like he had with football. Without waiting, David eagerly asked about the third and final lesson. His father thought for a moment, then said, "For the last lesson, I want you to think about how much better Matt is at maths comparing to you." David paused, then hesitantly replied, "I think Matt is about 3 times better at math than I am." "All right," his father said. "Then for the last challenge, I want you to study math 3 times harder tomorrow." David swallowed nervously, but nodded, determined to tackle the challenge. The next day after school, David sat down to study math. After an hour of intense focus, he pushed through and studied for 2 more hours, tripling his usual effort. But before he could finish, his head started to throb. Without realizing it, he fell asleep. Later, he was gently woken up by his father's soft tap. "Wake up for dinner and meet me in the garden afterward," his father said. Feeling disappointed in himself, David met his father with his head hanging low. "I'm sorry, Dad," he said. "I couldn't complete the challenge. I studied so much that my head hurt, and I ended up falling asleep." His father gently patted David's head and said, "David, this is what happens when you try to master something you don't enjoy. It's hard to stay disciplined and consistent, but when you study something you love, discipline and consistency feel much lighter, just like how you stay dedicated to playing football." After a brief silence, his father gave him one final piece of advice. "So, if you want to be smart and become an expert at something, either study what you love or learn to love what you are studying." David, filled with admiration for his father's wisdom, promised to carry these 3 important lessons with him for the rest of his life. We live in a world full of noise and comparison. Someone's always faster, more talented, or further along. But growth isn't a race, and success isn't one size fits all. The truth is, we each start from different places with different strengths and timing. Some discover their gifts early, others take down. That isn't a flaw. It's part of your unique journey. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you reclaim your power. Real transformation begins when you focus inward on your effort, discipline, and commitment to improve, even when no one's watching. Progress isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's slow or silent. But with consistent daily effort, showing up when you could quit, it becomes unstoppable. So don't chase someone else's path. Build your own. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for growth. Success isn't about being the best in the role. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. That's how you truly win.